Well, a couple days ago, I planted some garlic here. If you remember, I took one of the bulbs and took it out and separated the cloves out of it and planted them in here just to make sure that they would grow and take. And they're doing quite well. But, as you can see here, it's time I have got to start planting these. I mean, let me bring these up to you here. Now, if you were following along, see some of these weren't, well, they were germinating at different times and sprouting at different times. And after a while here, time has passed, and it's been 17 days, I think, since I lowered these down in the water to let them sprout. And all of them are sprouting now. Not one has not sprouted. Now I've got something else here on the other side here. You'll see these little plants right here. I'm not sure what they are. They look like tomatoes, so maybe some tomato seeds got accidentally sprinkled in there, but we'll see if we can get them to grow. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these out and do the same separation routine that I did on other ones in the previous video. And then we're going to plant the cloves in what space I have remaining here. And as you can tell, I've got garlic planted from here down, and there's a little space on this end. But that was one garlic bulb where I separated the cloves out and planted them in here. And as you can see, they took up quite a bit of space. And I've got 11 bulbs left, probably 8 or 9 plants per bulb. So I'm going to have a lot more than I need to fill this up. So I'll find some other places to plant these. And but for now, we're going to plant the rest of these and put them in here and let them grow. And hopefully by October, September, or something like that, I'll be able to harvest these. Now, I did some more research online, and as I mentioned, I should have done more research on how to plant these, but research around where I'm at here, and I'm in northern Utah, and right now it's 9th of February. And what the conventional wisdom on how to plant these and harvest them says is that you should plant them here in the fall before the first frost, and let them overwinter, and then in the springtime they'll come alive and they'll start growing, and then hopefully around September or the middle of summer or something like that, you'll be able to harvest these. Now I'm behind the curve on that as far as when you're supposed to plant them, but what I'm hoping is that the idea is that during the winter they don't grow very much as they overwinter, and these, you know, they've already got a head start that winter. You know what? Now let me see. How should I say this? These have already got a head start that winter might have given them, to the point where these are probably growing as well as, I'm hoping, as if I had planted them in the fall and let them grow over the winter. During the coldest months of the winter, they wouldn't have been growing much anyway. But, so here we are, and we'll plant these and we'll see how the harvest turns out. I just wanted to take a little time here and show you how nicely these separate. And what you got to do now is pull off this outer paper. There we go. Okay, I think that'll do it. Now if you look at this, you see, you can kind of see these are individual cloves, and now that the outer paper is removed, they come off quite easy. Here's one here. Now this one looks to me like there's a little rot there, so I'm not going to take that one and use it. But here's one here. See, there's a nice clove. Put that down over here. And here's another one right here. See, put that down over here. And then there's another one. You see how easily they separate. Now you're not supposed to take the paper off the individual cloves. It's best to leave that on. And there's another one. And there's another one that looks like it's doing well. And these don't look like they've... Well, that one has a little bit of green on the top. And this one might yet sprout, but I've got so many of these, I'm not going to worry. I'll let this one go, but the others. Now, if you can see what I've got here, I'm going to put this up. I've got 5 real good ones and one more that I'll plant. So I'll plant those in this planter I've got, this planter pot here, this I've got, and we'll let those grow, and they should grow into some very nice garlic. Well, now I've got so many of these cloves left over. I'm going to try to do a little experiment here and plant them in the floating raft aquaponic. So what I'm going to do here is put some of these in grow pots, in net pots, and put a little perlite around them, and put them in the aquaponics environment here, and just see what they do. I think as they grow, I'm sure as you can tell, these the net cups are going to be too small for these garlic bulbs once they start growing. So I think once they start growing, I'm going to have to probably lift them up and see if they'll grow up on top of the perlite, and they might. So we're going to try this just to see, and it might be just an interesting experiment to see which grows faster, directly in the water or in the soil over there. So let's see. All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So it looks to me like I've got 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll let them grow and see how it works. Who knows? It might work. Okay, well there they are, all planted up, and hopefully, about 6 months or 7 months or something like that, we'll have a nice crop of garlic. It's June the 3rd today, and I want to give you an update on those garlic plants I planted, those cloves that I planted. And here they are. Now, the last time, I believe it was February or something like that when we looked at these when I just planted them. But look how they've grown. Now, again, if it's February, if I count that right, March, April, May, 3 months. 3 months later, we have garlic plants here that are really, really doing well. Let me give you a close-up here. Look at this. Now remember, we planted these little cloves that we had right in here, and you can see they are doing extremely well. Let me dig down in here and look at that. You can see that. Let's see if you can see that. You can see if I pulled this one out, it's probably big enough to actually use. Let me try digging this one. You can see that too. I don't know if you can see how big that bulb is, but they're pretty good size. And so this was quite a success, and it didn't wait until clear in September as I thought I'd have to. But anyway, right now, like I said, it's the 3rd of June, and this is the time of year when I start having trouble keeping it cool in here. Now there was a second set of garlic plants that I had over here, if you recall. And remember, I was going to grow them in these little grow pots, and just to see what they would do. And here's what they did. You can see let me back up here. See, they've grown quite a bit, and they look really good, but they're actually not, well, as much as I can tell, they're not as far along as those other ones are. Let me just show you here. The bulbs here look a little smaller, but see, those roots are very healthy. And this one too, the bulb, you can see the bulb on this one is bulging out, so we'll see how that goes. And there's one right there. You know what I might do? I'm going to have to probably pull the plant out a little bit to get the bulb into the top of that cup. But as you can see, they all grew. And this is an aquaponic system, a floating raft. As you can see, the duckweed on top of here. This is all water under here. These are just styrofoam rafts they're floating on. So this did work, and I'm going to have to pull those up, like I say, and get those up there, or put them in a bigger cup or something. But it is working, and that's garlic. So for what it's worth, I'll have to say this really worked. And remember, I thought I'd have to. Well, the common wisdom is that you plant these in the fall and let them overwinter, and then let them come up when the springtime comes. Now this is in a greenhouse, so that's a little different. But this greenhouse is not heated, so in the wintertime it freezes every night in here. And it'll, on a real sunny day in the wintertime, it might get as high as 60, 70 degrees in here. So it's not a warm climate, but still this is what we've got. And these, well, let me just pull one out. These, should I do it? Well, I'll just pull one out and sacrifice it. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. See, there's one of the bulbs that has grown. Now these are not as big as what I originally planted when I took them out of the separated them from the overall bulb. But see, that bulb is nearly big enough to use. Matter of fact, I think I'll take it in the house and use it. But the point is you let that grow maybe another month, and in about a month we'll harvest a lot of garlic out of here, and it worked. So for what it's worth, there's a little experiment we tried, and in the greenhouse, what was it, February is when we planted these, or I think we started them in, well anyway, I'll put a timeline on it. It looks like 5 months, 4 months, and we got garlic. Big enough to use, but it'll probably grow a little bigger than that. Well, you know, these garlic bulbs that I put in the aquaponic environment here, I mentioned earlier that I'm probably going to have to take them out of these little cups and put them in a bigger cup because they might outgrow this. Now I already did, remember there were 6 of these or 5 of these, and I've already moved 2 of them. One of them actually did outgrow it so badly that I couldn't get the thing out of the cup without breaking it. Now what I've got is I'm going to take them from a cup this size and put them in a cup that size and put them in another area where they can grow. Now let me show you the one here that broke. See now, this was actually, all 3 of these, well yeah, all 3 of these were actually in one cup there, and I was able to pull this one out, but these 2 were bulging the cup so bad they broke the cup. So they're so they got to be moved. Anyway, I've moved 2 of these. Let me show you here, getting these out. What I'm going to do is just pull this. There we go. Okay, now some of these roots are not going to be going with it because, there we go, because they get trapped in the bottom of this cup, which is kind of like a strainer, so to speak. So, here we go. I got this bigger cup over here. And I'm going to put that in there and then take it over here. Okay, what we've got over here is another floating raft that actually I've got cucumbers in. These are garlic, and I've already moved 2 of the garlic plants over. Here's the 3rd one. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to put these in here for now so that they have a place to live. My intention is to fill this up with cucumbers. Now to give this a little support, what I'm going to do is pour some perlite in there. And just kind of work it around in there and get that down. There we go. Okay, so these will stand on their own. I think there's 1 or 2 more over there. And that's what I'm going to do is put them in here. And probably later on I'll put them in another spot. But right now, those cloves are growing and they're doing pretty well. They don't seem to be growing as fast as they were in the dirt there for some reason. But they are growing. They're growing quite well. So it does work. So we'll watch these and put them in another place later, and I'll give you an update on those. For those of you who want to grow garlic, you can do it this way.